Welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you how to make a bottle out of 1 pound of clay. So it's just going to be a small bottle. I'll show it to you really quick. And then if you want to see more, you can jump to my webpage where I'll show you a little bit of more of a tutorial, more a little how-to. So first we'll get it centered. And then with a bottle, the main thing that you want to do is you want to make sure and keep it so that the top doesn't get too thin. So you're going to sort of pull it up in a cone shape. So I'm going to pinch it since it's a small bottle. I'll just use my fingers together in one hand and I'll try to pinch it up until I can't get my finger in there anymore, until my hand's in anymore. So that's, now I'll get down right at the bottom and I'll push it out. So I'm pushing it out at my maximum thinness. And now at the top is really, really thick. And I want to keep the top thick so I can shape that exactly how I want it. Then the top needs to be thick so that there's enough thickness to pull that in. Because if it's too thin, it'll just accordion in on me. So now it's really thick right in here. So I'll gently pull that in and up, something like that. Okay, pinch that in a little bit more, which thickens it a little bit more. Maybe I'll pull it a little bit taller. Now I have a nice little bottle. Then I'll shape it real quick. So trimming isn't quite such a big deal. And then I always like to decorate it a little bit. So I'll grab this guy and maybe I'll just do one of those, one of those, one of those. And then I gotta frame it. So we'll frame it, frame it, frame it. And then maybe a couple little lines there, 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 and there. And maybe I'll do something with that when I'm done trimming. So there you go, quick little bottle with 1 pound of clay. All right, you want to stay and watch a little bit more, so let's go through the steps a little bit more slowly, and I'll cut my piece of clay apart at different steps just so you can sort of see what I'm talking about. So first I'm going to center it, and then I'm going to open it up, and my left hand is pressing in to keep this into a cone. So it's making like a volcano shape, so you can see I'm making the volcano shape. And I'll press out with my inside finger, and then I'm pressing in with my right hand on the outside part. And you can see anytime you push stuff together, it's always going to accentuate any unevenness you have. So I'll go ahead and flatten that a little bit. But you see, it's really hard to get your fingers in there because it gets so small, but you need to try and keep that in so that this upper area doesn't get too thin. So I can still fit my fingers down there, maybe even 2 fingers. So now that I've pulled it up a couple times, this is going to be my last pull to get my thinness that I want down here at the bottom. So I'm pressing that really tight, really thin right in there, with my finger right here, until I get approximately the height of the bulb, the bottom of the bottle, and I've left this top area pretty thick. And now you can see one of the dangers right there of that almost got a little too thin. So I'm going to have to be extra careful right there because it got a little too thin. Right? And then I'll be able to bring that in. So let's just take a look and see what that looks like. Alright, so you can see where I got it too thin right there, but you can see how I tried to keep this thinner, and then this has to stay thicker so that that can push in and it doesn't accordion in on itself. Alright, so since I cut that, I will have to start over again. So we'll cut that off. Put another one on there. Get it centered down, right like that. You can even center it up into a little bit of a cone shape if you want to, since you're making a bottle. And then we'll open it. Notice how my left hand is helping keep my right hand in the center of my piece of clay. So they're always joined, my arms are always on my legs. So now I'll pull it up and I'm just pushing with my right hand. I'm pushing in with my right hand, and my left hand is just guiding. So I'm just holding it there and I'm just pushing up that finger. But I want to make sure that I'm pushing in. Right? I'm exaggerating, say I'm pushing in. Now I have to lift my left hand up a little bit because I can't touch the bottom anymore. So you want to try and create this cone shape. Now that you've done that, now comes your final pull to get the thinness you want. So I'm going to pinch. I'm pushing out with this hand, so I'm pushing out that direction into this hand to make sure that I get the width that I want. And I'm going to slowly throw and pull that up. And sometimes it's fun to do this until it starts to wobble, just because you know you're getting your maximum thinness. And that's pretty easy to do with since it's such a small bottle. All right, so now, just like I showed you on that last one, this is really thin in here. This is a little bit thicker, because you need to leave that thicker so that you can neck this in. So you can see if that's thicker, then this will come in much more easily than if it's thin. If it's thin, that just accordions right up on you. And now taking my left hand, I'm going to pull this up a little bit more so I can get a little bit more height out of the bulb of my bottle. So I'm pulling with my left finger, or just pulling up. And I'm going to take my right finger here. Now I'm pushing in against my left finger. Now you can tell by the shape that the bottle's taking, what shape do you think my left finger was in? It was in this shape, so that as I pushed in, it followed that. So it went in and then up. So this finger on the inside was the shape that I wanted my bottle to be. Right? So now I can still reach all the way down to here. So again, my finger's that shaped. So I'm going to push in against it and then bring it up. Right? Something like that. So just a nice little bottle. Lastly, I might just neck it in a little bit more. Again, when you neck stuff in, it accentuates any unevenness you have, so just do it nice and slow. Something like that. And now it may be a little thick there again, so I'll thin that just a little bit to match the size of my bottle so that my rim is the shape that I want. And then at this stage, if you want to, you can take your wooden tool, which will still fit down in there. Maybe I'll widen this out so you can see I'm pressing right in here. So maybe I'm going to widen that out just a little bit. Maybe pull that up just a little bit because I wanted a little bit different shape. Maybe something like that. Gives me a little bit better bulb down there. And then I'll trim this away to make trimming it tomorrow a little bit easier. So trim that a little bit, scrape that up. And like I did on my last one, I'll add some decoration because things can't be too round. Maybe I'll clean this up a little bit, clean the rim, and here I just curl my finger like that so that it just sits right over the rim there. And maybe on this one we'll just do a couple parallel lines. We'll do 2 lines there, we'll do 1 line there, and we'll frame it off. Maybe something like that, and maybe I'll add 1 more frame line after I trim it. So there you go. There's a small little bottle, done with 1 pound of clay. Cut it off, scrape my hands off, and then, right, so there you go. Set it right next to my other one there. Pretty cool. Thanks for watching.